Today we're talking about greatest common factors, but with variables. So first, a little rundown of greatest common factors. The greatest common factor is the largest, the greatest number that can go into both. So if I give you 6 and 9, 3 is the greatest common factor because that's the biggest number that goes into both of those. With 12 and 36, there's a lot of numbers that go into both. 3 go into both, 4 goes into both, 6 goes into both, lots of stuff goes into both. 12 is the biggest number though that goes into both. Sometimes one of the numbers on the list can be the answer if the littler number goes into the bigger number on the list. The little number is the answer. It's the GCF. With 3 and 4, if you have trouble thinking of anything that goes into 3 and 4, it's because the only thing that does that is 1. 1 is your bailout. If you just can't think of stuff that goes into both, 1 can do it. But again, we want to find the biggest number that goes into both. So don't write 1 for every answer. It's not usually 1. Even though 1 goes into everything, there's usually bigger numbers and we want the biggest. When I throw variables in, we have just a small twist, which is we want to pick the lowest of the powers that we see. So if I go with y to the 4th and y to the 5th, you go for an answer y to the 4th. We're going to go for the lower of the two numbers when we make these lists. That's the biggest power that can go into both. We can't go bigger than the little guy. We just have to take the little guy. With 3s and 4s up above, we talked about 1s already. So we're going to do the numbers in front like we always have. With y to the 7th and y to the 4th, just take the lower 1. Take the y to the 4th. If you didn't run a right to 1, you don't have to. We've talked a few times this year about how 1s are invisibly the coefficients anytime we want them to be. They are there. For this, we need to think of something that goes into 16 and into 28. There's a few numbers that go into both. 4 is the biggest that goes into both. For my x's, I would take 3, because 3 is smaller than 7, and I'm picking the smaller. For y's, I go with 5, because 5 is smaller than 8, and I'm always picking the smaller. For this last one, 16 and 28, again, I'm going 4. X's, I'm going 3, because 3 is smaller than 7 for the x's. Y's, I'm going with nothing, because this had nothing, and this had 5, and nothing is smaller than 5. We're always going with the smaller. So there's a paper for this, GCF with variables. There's 30 of them. Nothing really any different, I don't see, than what we did on the board. So, see ya.